it's quite common for dancers to cheat. This is a common thing we see and a common thing dance instructors and studio owners talk about. So let's discuss why they are cheating in the first place. Because here's the truth. Dancers don't cheat because they want to, they cheat because they have to. And they have to because we aren't creating the necessary flexibility and joint range to help them get into the right positions to activate the right muscles. So when you have a limitation, you can either work through the limitation or you can go around the limitation. Now, if we are not giving our dancers the appropriate stretches and stretch sequencing, they will go around their limitation to meet the demands of dance. Meaning, in order to do the dance-specific movements, if they don't have the flexibility and joint range, they've got to go around it. This is where cheating happens. And we can end cheating or we can prevent cheating by giving dancers the tools to move through their limitations. And we do this with proper stretching. When we give dancers the right stretches to release tension in the right muscles, we improve joint range. When we improve joint range, we're able to access the proper muscles for proper muscle activation. This is where dancers move beyond their limitations, reach their full potential, and find success. And this is what we do at MUVmethod. We look at the dancer, we look at the movements, we say, hey, what is getting in the way for this dancer? What is preventing them from achieving this movement with ease and efficiency? And so we address the opposition, and the opposition generally boils down to your muscular system, your fascial system, your skeletal system, or your nervous system. Now, we can't change the skeletal system, nor would we want to. We can address some things in the fascial system, but we can definitely change the muscular system and the nervous system. You see, these two systems work together in regulating flexibility. And when we teach dancers how to stretch appropriately, or in other words, how to approach stretches in the right way, and then give them the right stretches, they are able to move beyond their limitations and they stop cheating. So dancers don't cheat because they want to, they cheat because they have to achieve the dance-specific movements being asked of them. For example, first position. It's a position your dancers are going to learn from probably day one of dance. And it doesn't often look like a position that requires a ton of flexibility. Most people don't think, oh, I need to stretch to get into my first position. No, you go to your ballet bar, you externally rotate your legs, and you're there. Well, it actually does require flexibility and joint range. You see, first position requires external rotation of the hips, or turnout. It is opposed by a set of muscles called your abductors, your glute medius, your glute minimus, and your TFL. So if these muscles are tight and you go to turn out, your range will be limited. So at MUVmethod, we understand this, and we look at the position, such as first position, and we say, okay, what is opposing this movement and how can we improve it? So we know now that it's opposed by the abductors, the muscles on the outside of the hips. So we give our dancers stretches to release tension in the abductors. When we do this, it increases the range and allows the dancer to activate more effectively their deep six external hip rotators. These are your turnout muscles. When a dancer is not given the proper stretches to improve turnout, they'll often resort to cheating. What does cheating look like with first position? Well, it tends to include extending the hips just a bit and engaging the glute maximus. Now, this creates a problem down the road. It creates three problems in particular. One, we're going to run into a sustainability issue. When you're using your glute maximus as your turnout muscle, it's not sustainable. This muscle is designed for strong contractions or quick, powerful movements. Think arabesque, penché, or a grand jeté. That's where your glute maximus is going to really engage and be helpful. It's not helpful in first position. In first position, we want to be using muscles that are designed for long-term use, or what we often call stabilizing muscles. Your glute maximus is not that. So when we extend the hips, engage the glute maximus, we're not able to sustain the turnout because we're not training the proper muscles. Now you'll notice with dancers that go on releve and lose their turnout, or lift one leg in the air and lose their turnout in either the lifted leg or their supporting leg, if they're losing their turnout, they're likely cheating and using their glute maximus as a turnout muscle. So we create a sustainability issue. Another problem with doing this is that you start to create dysfunction in the hip flexors. Your hip flexors are able to assist in external hip rotation. Now, dancers should be using their hip flexors for hip flexion only, not as a turnout muscle, not as a spinal stabilizer. The hip flexor's working a lot, and we don't want to overwork it by using it as a turnout muscle or a spinal stabilizer. So to keep your hip flexors happy, you certainly need to be using your deep 6 external hip rotators for rotation, not your glute maximus. The last issue is that you're going to actually tighten the muscles that were opposing your external hip rotation in the first place. So by engaging the glute maximus, we also activate the glute medius, glute minimus, and TFL, the 3 muscles in the first place that were opposing your external hip rotation. Now we just made the hips tighter. So instead, give your dancers the right stretches. Work through the tension, then train the position. When you do it the other way around, you're making your job so much harder, plus you're not making it very safe or effective for your dancers. If you're ready to stop cheating for good and give your dancers the tools they need to work through limitations in flexibility and joint range, then check out our stretch curriculum. We have a plan that's right for you.